Let's bring in the Republican Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee, one of the 6 panels now investigating the president. Congressman, good to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, Shep. Good to be with you.
A little bit from the whistleblowers in report, at least, or some summation. I'm going to quote a little bit here. In the days following the phone call, I learned from multiple U.S. officials that senior White House officials had intervened to lock down all records on the call, especially the official word-for-word transcript of the call that was produced, as is customary by the White House. The set of actions underscored to me that White House officials understood the gravity of what had transpired. Does that, to you, show consciousness of guilt?
Well, no. First of all, the whistleblowers doesn't have any first-hand information. They're relating what they heard from somebody else. So I don't think it shows consciousness of guilt, because what we're seeing is that this White House is actually providing information. So far, nothing, as far as we know, nothing has been hidden. And you know what? The whistleblower is using second-hand information. And as an old trial lawyer, I can tell you that kind of hearsay is basically considered to be incredible on its face, and that's why it's not allowed to be used in court.
From the whistleblower, White House officials told me that they were directed by White House lawyers to remove the electronic transcript from the computer system in which such transcripts are typically stored for coordination, finalization, and distribution to cabinet-level members. Instead, the transcript was loaded on a separate electronic system that's otherwise used to store extremely sensitive material. If true, would that be of concern to you?
Well, there's no way to know if it's true, but first of all, again, that's hearsay.
But if it were true, would it be of concern to you, Congressman?
Well, no, and I'll tell you why. Because so far we are getting everything that we're asking for, everything that the committees are asking for. This presidency is providing. It's been transparent. I don't see anything else in there, except for I will say, when I was reading the transcript, or excuse me, the whistleblower complaint, what I found is that there's an implication that there may have been a whole host of other things on there, and so that would not be necessarily unusual.
Congressman, the Democrats are claiming the following: that the rules in place to protect the president, classification of phone calls and the rest, were used instead to cover up evidence of a potential criminal activity by the president. If that's true, is that a problem?
Well, Shep, what you've got is the Democrats that came out before they knew anything. And so you're asking me hypothetical questions, which is fine. I mean, you can ask them.
I only asked you that because that's what they're saying, based on the printout from the whistleblower's complaint and the transcript of the phone call that the White House provided.
Right. No, and that's a fair question. I was saying that that's a fair question, but my problem is that the Democrats haven't waited till they have all the information. They claim that they're going to do this investigation and inquiry, and don't forget that Tuesday, before any of this information came out, the Speaker came out and said, no, we're going to start this inquiry, this investigation. And what we're finding out is the transcript didn't seem to be overly damning, at least it didn't produce these eight demands for quid pro quo, as Mr. Schiff said it would. The whistleblower is all hearsay. There's nothing really substantive to it, because you can't adjudicate whether it's true or it's not, because first of all, we don't know who the whistleblower is, and that's fine, but it's all hearsay. So who would we go to verify any of this stuff? And that's part of the problem with the Democrats' assertions, at least up to today.
Would you like to hear from the officials inside the White House who are said to have provided this information to the whistleblower?
Sure. I mean, let's find out, because I would suggest to you that if you have an intelligence officer that's listening on the phone call, and quite frankly, the intelligence officer's role at that point is simply to transcribe the conversation. But if they're leaking something to somebody else, who then in turn is, for whether it's political animus or for whatever reason it is, that person, I mean, because this is what you've got second-hand, third-hand, a person saying, I think that's a problem, that's your whistleblower, and you have these other folks who apparently didn't think it was serious enough to go to and file a whistleblower complaint. I think you might have a leak problem, and that's as equally as concerning as anything else that we're hearing.
Well, it's interesting because the president said something similar, but not exact today. He said, I want to know who their sources are, because those sources, the ones who gave the information to the whistleblower, are close to a spy, and back in the old days, we treated spies differently. Do you agree with the president on that matter?
Well, if they're leaking stuff out that is supposed to be classified, then yes, that is that is inappropriate, certainly, and maybe it probably is criminal in nature. But we just simply don't know enough about this right now, Shep, to form some real ideas. But I can tell you this. When I see the transcript as it was for the phone conversation, I see the whistleblower complaint, I read the DNI legal counsel report, I'm looking at anything else that's coming out, I'm having trouble seeing how we moved right into an impeachment inquiry investigation formally. We haven't done it formally yet. I'm having trouble seeing how we're going to get there, actually.
Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona, nice of you to come. Thank you so much.